everyone. I'm not on my porch today. I'm at the beach. This place is my happy place. Whether it's the porch or the beach, those are my two happy places. So I just wanted to say hey, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to talk with you for a few minutes, and I hope you're having a good holiday weekend and that you're safe and healthy, and I hope that you are able to connect with your beloveds this weekend in one way or another. I had some feedback this week, and I really appreciate those that reached out to me, and some of you expressed concern because you could tell that last week I was, I came across pretty frustrated and weary and maybe a little down, and I want to thank you for that, but I'm not without hope. I may get frustrated about what's going on, and I may get sad about the violence and the division, but I know that God is large and in charge, and I know that sometimes when you're moving to new and better things, sometimes there's trial and wilderness that's involved. So don't ever think that when I'm ranting and raving that I'm not without hope. And I had somebody else this week say that remark about how opinionated I am, and I am. But I also hope that I bring a word of encouragement to you, and that's my only desire to do that. We are out at the beach this week, and I've just gotten great encouragement from walking along the beach, and we've also been with family and some beloved friends. In fact, this is the third generation we started coming out here when we were young, going to the beach with some of these folks, and then with our young children, and now they have children. So I guess maybe that's just the second generation. But anyway, it's just fun to see the continuance of being able to get outdoors together and laugh and talk and watch kids play. I don't know that there's anything more joyful than watching kids play, to you. And this makes me think that we are all created and geared for community. When God, in the Genesis poem, when God said, "Let us make humankind in our image," there's this notion of relationship, that we come from the source of relationship. We come from the ultimate reality that is wholeness and relationship. And so naturally, created in that image, we are made for community. And over the last 6 months, that's been stretched and strained a bit, and we're having an opportunity and a challenge to figure out just what community is to us, and finding ways to be creative, to be in community. And the lectionary passage this week is when in Matthew, and Jesus is talking about how to settle church disputes. And you have to remember that back then, church wasn't just a part of their life. Everything centered around the temple. It was the economic center, it was the spiritual center, it was the institution around which their community was oriented. And when Matthew was writing, there was a lot of division and jostling going on, because there were some who considered Jesus a Messiah, and there were some who still didn't. And so they were trying to figure out a way to be in community, and eventually, of course, different communities were formed. But he was talking about ways of settling a dispute. And when someone hurts you, then go to them and talk to them about it. And then if they won't listen to you, in the passage it says, then take 2 more with you. And which is kind of strange, because we don't normally think about the church getting involved in our personal disputes, although sometimes the church is a hotbed for personal disputes. But the point I want to make to you today is that it was about going the extra mile to continue your relationships with people, even when they hurt you, or even when you hurt them, that there's this process that you don't just let go of each other. And it made me think again about all the stuff that's going on, and we're in the middle of a pandemic, and we want to be with community, and some of us can't be with community, and we have to figure out a way to be safe in community by wearing our mask, and all of these things. And then in the midst of this political season, it's real easy to lose sight of the fact that we are geared for community. Sometimes it gets to be about who's right and who's wrong, and whose side you're on, and the kind of division and name calling right now, and the hateful rhetoric, it dehumanizes us, when actually we can disagree on a lot of things. We can disagree on just about everything, but we can still be in community together, and we can still see the human dignity in one another. And I think that was what Jesus was trying to get across, is that this isn't going to be easy. Relationships aren't easy, and especially when you get a larger group. And one of the reasons, as I've said before, that the Homo sapiens were able to survive as a species is that they have this ability to hold a story. So we can meet in our common story that we are all humans. And whether it's in this country or another country, whatever community you're a part of, you can meet around that story that you all want to thrive and be in community with one another, and each person to have the same rights and opportunities. And at the end of this passage, he says, whenever 2 or 3 of you pray and ask, it'll be given. Well, we know that that's not literally true. I mean, you have lots of groups that pray for a lot of things, and they don't always come true, or they don't always come about the way we would like for them to. So there's got to be something deeper going on in that encouragement. And I think it's that, again, we are to approach our lives and our challenges in relationship with one another. We are to approach them in community and in collaboration with one another. To pray, to humble ourselves and realize that we are part of a bigger picture. There is a source, there is a God that is greater than us, that nobody is God, but that together we can humble ourselves and cooperate with one another and collaborate with one another and move towards a better future together. We can move towards community. And if our political leaders won't do that, if the person who is supposed to unite the country continues to be divisive and divide the country, and if the other political leaders won't do the right thing and cooperate and get together and figure out a way forward in community, then the people can. We humans can in our own areas of community. We can find ways to be able to have difficult conversations. And I think that's going to be important in the next few months, that we remember that we were created for community and that we don't have to agree on everything, but that we could figure out together what is the path, what is the community that we want to create together. And we may differ on how to get there, but if we'll agree to argue from a place of commitment to that community, I think it might be a lot more life-giving. Those are the thoughts I had on the beach today. And it brought me such joy to think that it's okay to get frustrated and discouraged and even angry, but to remember that we're created in God's image. We're created to love each other. We're created for community. And we can do this. We can do this because we have the Spirit of God at work in and through all things. And love always wins. I hope you have a great weekend. God bless you, and go in peace.